I accepted Christ as a teenager, was involved in the ministry for years. Several years back, I went through a really nasty divorce. With that divorce, I withdrew. I continued to attend church, but I withdrew from people as a whole, and I became really angry and really bitter. People that came in contact with me didn't recognize that or know that because I isolated myself. But because of that, I got involved in some things that that were not healthy, were not good for me at all. And as a result of that, I ended up being arrested and going to prison for 2 years. I remember just before I got arrested, I was really struggling with the issue that I had, and I remember praying and asking, begging Jesus to do something because I couldn't stop. And I think it was less than a week and the police knocked on my door. I didn't think he was going to do that. I was told while I was locked up that I would always be on the outside when I was released, that I wouldn't fit in anywhere, that definitely the church wouldn't have anything to do with me. Rob Shetler was coming to the New Albany campus when it started, and he had stayed in touch with me while I was in prison, and he told me that it was opening. I came, I knew Rob, and I remember walking in having just a couple of weeks prior, just walking out of prison. And I walked in, and I remember feeling like everybody in the building knew who I was and what I had done. And in fact, as soon as the service was over, I went straight to Michael, and I told him, I said, man, you may want to know, I feel like I need to tell you, I'm here. Dude, I just got out of prison a couple of weeks ago, but I think I would like to attend here if you don't have a problem with that. I don't know what was going on in his head, but he never batted an eye. He told me, he said, man, you're welcome. You're welcome. And I began to attend Sojourn. I remember I'd been at Sojourn about 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know if they'll be thrilled with me sharing this, but one of the first things I noticed is that their restrooms were filthy. They were a mess. And one of my jobs for about 7 months while I was in prison was cleaning restrooms. So I went to Stephen Pierce. I said, dude, your bathrooms are nasty. Do you think it'd be possible if I could clean the bathrooms? And he said, yeah, I think you can do that. And I'll never forget how excited I got that first week. I would come in early on Sunday mornings, and somebody would watch the bathrooms, especially the women's, to make sure nobody came in while I was in there. And I'd go in and scrub the toilets and the sinks and put in new toilet paper and empty the trash. And I'll never forget how excited I was to be able to clean the bathrooms at church because I was able to do something. And that was a big deal for me. And I moved from that right into Connect. That was probably the best thing I could have done because that's how I got to know people and people got to know me. And I remember always ending my stories with, and I'll never be able to do that again. And Travis told me one time, he stopped me and he said, Ron, he said, because of what you're done, there are consequences for our actions. And there are things that you won't ever be able to do again. But there are all kinds of new things that you don't realize that are going to be available for you because of what Jesus has done in your life. And at the time, I couldn't picture what he could. I thought he's a good guy, he's a church guy. He doesn't have a clue what he's talking about. But I'd have to say, I don't use that line anymore because Jesus has opened doors because of what I've been through and because of the work that he's done, the restoration that's taken place in my life. He's opened doors. For a period, I was able to go back into the jails in Clark County, into the work release center, with a Bible study there for a while. I've been able to sit down and meet with people and talk with people and share my story and Jesus' story and how he's worked through the things that he's brought me through. But Jesus answered that prayer when the police came into my apartment. And, you know, life's good. Jesus is good.